All right, it's Friday, February 9:30 a.m. I got to stop for the day and start my weekend. This week I was 7-4 for the week. Not a great week. Definitely have had better. Could have been worse. Uh, Definitely started off the week much worse. I think, like 1-4, 2-4 at something like that at some point, and then finished the week pretty strong. 1-0 today, and used my trade copier. So PA2, Eval 31 and 33 all got the one win, and $50 on the PA. Nothing too exciting. $100 on each evaluation. I meant to trade with more contracts. I really actually was considering doing two contracts on PA2 and 3 or 4 contracts on evaluation 33, and then I was only going to do the two on 31 that I did do. So this is a fine day. Every day, if you don't know already, if you've just been seeing my reviews, I do live stream in the morning, somewhere starting around 9:45 a.m. East Coast, and I typically finish by this time right now, 12:30, which for me on the West Coast is 6:45 a.m. to 9:30. And Apex is still running their 80% discount, so you can use this code or any other if you don't have one you already use. And so yeah, what can I say? Let's actually get into the chart and looking at the trade, and then I could just talk about a couple things real quick, and then I got to run. So today I found 3 charts really easily that were all good with no losses for any entry during the session, and then I had to search a little bit for my fourth chart, which turned out to be the chart that I took a trade on. As you can see here, I started my day right at about 6:50ish, I believe, 6:55. So it wasn't very much longer after I started. Within 5 or definitely less than 10 minutes after I started my stream, I took my first trade. It felt a little bit dicey just because it was so steep up. But what I had counted on, I had measured from here to here. And so I was looking at it like it went beyond the measured move. And so because I got a nice bearish bar, and especially because this chart had no losers on it for any entry, I took this trade without hesitation, and it worked really good right away. I mean, you can see it just really took off to the downside. If I was going for a larger scalp target, definitely would have got much more. I mean, there was another 10 points right there in that bar. So to get just about 3 points when you could have got 13. But this is the amount that I like to play because it seems to be a size that works for a target more times than not. So I have been, if you saw my video yesterday, you can see I am testing out strategies to try to capture more. But when I'm trading my PAs right now, and this one I took on PA2, Eval 31 and 33, like I said, I'm not trying to be too risky with my PA accounts. So, this one's in pretty good shape. I'm 1,100 away from qualifying for a payout. And my other one, I've only got a couple days traded on it, and I did take a loss on it this week. So just under the starting balance. But the drawdowns are good on both of them. I've got I forget what I saw, something like 1,300 or so on my 25K, and about 2,000 or so on my 50K. So let's see here. So I got that trade. That was good. And then on the move up, it was just grinding, and I don't think there was really many opportunities here. I mean, there was kind of like an entry above here I could have taken for a long, but it seemed kind of sketch once I knew I was beyond my measured move. I didn't really know what it was going to do at that point. So I stayed out of that. It wasn't a great signal bar, and just being choosy because I wanted to get more trades on my PA. And there was like a short up here somewhere, and there was a long here, but it was engulfing. So I stayed away from that because 3 or maybe even all 4 of my losses this week were on the engulfing bars. So even though it looked like a really good trade, honestly, I wanted it to stop here for me to consider it. And I wasn't willing to drop my order for it to engulf and take me into the trade and stop me out like I had. Although this was a different situation. But also the other thing was I'd measured this one leg up, and so to that measured move, we had already basically got in there. So it wasn't clear to me, like, does that count as the measured move, or are we really going to get it? And so because it was engulfing on top of that, it was just kind of an easy choice to stay out. And that's the hardest thing about the strategy I'm trading right now is, on one hand, the thought is that if you can see, if I could tell you, I can look at your chart and tell you if every one of your entries according to your strategy, whether they worked or not. And then we can go digging through charts and find a chart where every single entry for your strategy has worked for the entire session, since the session opening the previous day. Would you be willing to, if you saw that they're all working, would you want that? Would you want to be able to see that? And would it influence you to trust the chart more and to take virtually every entry? And so that's what I'm trying to figure out with this BS strategy. I love saying it's the BS strategy, but it is. It's a BS strategy because it's just trusting the chart and saying, okay, every single time there's been an entry according to your strategy, it's worked for your profit target. So the odds are in your favor that if you just take every single one, they'll work. And I'll tell you, on this chart, the entire chart worked. From here where it opened the session, the entire chart worked until here. And I talked about this in the live stream. So there is an entry right above this bar, and you look at that and you say, okay, it's an inside bar. It's below the EMA. It's not a bullish bar. Like, why would you go long above that? Like, you wouldn't, right? But if you're trading this strategy, you might take it because literally every single entry before that point on this entire chart has worked for your profit target. And trust me, like, a lot of the entries, maybe they don't look like this per se, but they don't look good. They don't look like good entries. And so, the hard thing about what I'm doing is that if you're in the mindset that you're going to see a chart like this and you're going to just use the edge of knowing that it's continuously working, then you're going to take every entry, and you're going to have to have the mindset that you're going to take every one, no matter what it looks like, no matter what your analysis, no matter what, if you think you have a measured move that was already reached and now you got to go long right back into it. Every trade is working. So, or potential trade, if you take every one. So you have to be in the mindset to take them all. So then by the time this one comes around, if you're in that mindset and you've taken everyone and they've all won, you're going to get a loser here. But the idea is, if I had taken every one since my first trade, and this was the first opportunity that I could have taken, there were 7 winners in a row in the rest of this chart before this failed here. So I would have had 7 wins, and then I would have taken this one because I'm telling you, it's really hard to like apply rules sometimes, not other times. This is me applying my rules today. So there were potential of 7 winners from this point to this point. I only took one because I'm being careful. I'm applying rules, somewhat rules. I'm applying some analysis. I had 4 losses this week, and so it kept me out of 6 winning trades, right? And I could have been 7-0. Maybe at 7-0, it was it was basically at the time that I wanted to stop anyways, right around 9 o'clock. So I could have been a 7-0 day today, just taking every entry, regardless of how good or bad they looked. And, and maybe I would have got lucky and called it a day and finished 7-0. Or I would have taken this trade too, because I was still here at that time, and I would have been 7-1, and I would have given back the majority of my profit. Or because I probably would have been switching accounts, I probably would have taken the first 2 or 3 trades on these accounts, and then I would have switched and taken the next, 2 or 3 on the next set of accounts, and then whatever trades left over would have been on the next set of accounts, and then whatever those last set of accounts would have been, they would have been red today. And I would have protected the green on all of the first accounts, and my last 1 or 2 accounts that I traded for the day would have been red. Maybe I would have blown something up, depending on which accounts those were and how many contracts. And that's essentially what the struggle is for me right now. Is when I started a week off really poorly, and I had, I think I was 2-4 to start the week or something along those lines, and then I finished the week better and ended up 7-4. But I got those 4 losses because I literally was taking every trade when I took those trades. So one day I started off the day losing the first 2 trades. I went to a chart, I had all winners. I took a trade. The first trade it set up that I could see, got a loss. First loss on the chart. Switched charts. Traded that chart. The chart was just like this. Had no losses for any entry for the day. Took the first trade I saw, got a loss. It was my second loss of the day, 2 in a row. That can happen. Or it could be like today, where if you took the first 7 trades, you would have had 7 winners. Or yesterday was the same thing for me. I think I was I 2-0 yesterday? I forget already. I think I was 2-0 yesterday. I could have been 6-0 or 7-0 probably yesterday too. They were all winners. But I was being careful, and I'd already had 4 losses for the week. And so, it didn't happen that way. You can go back and look at all of my trades, look at the week, how it went. You can just search through my live stream and see the trades play out in real time. And you'll see me switching charts and all that stuff. So, and I've only talked about this one chart today. I was looking at this chart. This chart had no losses, the entire chart as well. From the time I got on, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 winners in a row before it got its first loss. So there was 6 winners in here from around this time to around this time before it got its first loss, which was here. And another chart. What other chart was I looking at here? Let's see. This one here. Same thing, no losses, the whole chart. Still, to right now, there's still no losses. From the time I started at 650 around here, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners on this chart, no losses. And another chart my first chart that I looked at, I think I already mentioned it, but there was 7 trades before the first loss in the time that I was trading it. So that's just the hard thing that I've still got to manage and figure out how exactly I'm going to deal with it, because I'm switching accounts, because I'm trading with my PAs first. It's kind of like Russian roulette. It's like at some point there most likely will be a loss. How far can you get? How many wins in a row can you get? How many accounts can you go through before that first loss comes? And it's like that, if that loss does land somewhere, does it land on an account that matters to you, or does it land on an account that you really don't care? It's like, if it landed on this account or this account or even this account, it really wouldn't matter to me as much. But if it landed to me on, if a loss landed on PA2 or PA6 or evaluation 27 or evaluation 31, I would care more. Even 29, since it's at the starting balance. So that's the thing. The other thing I was talking about today in my live stream was just, we've reached the measured move. and now we're moving beyond it finally on my daily chart when I've done the one leg up, two legs up from there. So that was the other thing, just in my analysis of looking at things. I had one leg up here, so the second leg had been reached. So I was wary of any longs at that point. And then also the big first leg up here measured was also reached, which maybe could have given a reason for this long that I skipped because of the engulfing and because it reached this measured move. So, but now look, we're going beyond. And I was saying here, like, you know, is this going to now fail back down, or because it's been a strong up day and we're at the 18,000 all-time highs, you know, there's a lot of strength in the market. Is it going to keep pushing? But this is around a level where I know there's a bigger measured move on the daily chart. So just seemed a little precarious, and Friday heading into the weekend, definitely wanted to be careful and wanted to end the week on a good note since the week started off so poorly. So 7-4 week, not too bad. 59 and 16 overall, 79%. Not the best, not as good as I want it to be, but not terrible. And you know, for the most part, the accounts that matter to me are in fine shape for now. And I just really want to get to this payout. That's my like immediate goal. I was hoping I'd be able to do it by the payout window in February. It's looking very unlikely, but I'm looking forward to a much better week than this week, next week. And I really am looking to try to take as many entries as I can on winning charts. This week started off rough. It was just even hard to even find winning charts. I had to like dig through a lot of charts, look at charts that I wouldn't normally look at to find charts that had winners. And I think that's part of why I took those losses this week. It was like I looked too hard to find a chart that had no losers when there was so many other charts that were just bad for the day. It was like, at that point, maybe it just doesn't even matter. You find a chart that looks good, but so many charts are bad, you're bound to run into a loser. Maybe I have to take that into consideration. Anyway, thanks for watching my journey here on YouTube, and like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing how this continues to go for me. And 80% discount, so a good time to get in starting your Apex journey if you haven't already, or if you need more evaluations. And I'm going to get my weekend started. Again, thanks for watching. Hope you had a good trading week, and I'll be back at it Monday.